Greetings, dear viewers. This is for you guys, Pisces, October 2018. From Tarot Lumination, it's your general broad spectrum spiritual report, okay? We're going wide here, and we're coming from the highest frequencies possible. I'm not trying to tell your future or work on relationship, career, money, health, or whatever. It's the whole thing, okay? So cards are well shuffled in advance, but I want to give you some notices first. Give me a second here. This won't take long. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the astrology this month, okay? We're just going to make do. There's a lot of shifts. We've had a very challenging season. It's starting to soften up a tiny bit. I want to give you, there's the Tarot Lumination Astrodoodle for the month. You've noticed I've only circled a couple of things here. There's a lot of pressure still on the Leo North Node. And we've got a lot of activity over here in Scorpio with a huge stellium period going through a lot of the month, okay? Let me give you some calendar dates. This is for everybody. Doesn't matter what your sign is. Beginning of the month, October 1st, Pluto goes direct after almost 5 or 6 months. Okay, that's a long period. So at the very deepest soul levels of your life, in the Capricorn section of your chart, you might feel some progress. Things started to shift and move forward. October 6th, Venus goes retrograde in Scorpio. That's going to affect love things, perhaps. October the 8th, we have the Libra new moon. The sun is conjunct the moon in Libra. Okay, so wherever that lies in your chart, wherever that Libra degree lies in your chart. October the 10th to 12th, we get the start of that big Scorpio stellium, okay? So wherever Scorpio lies in your chart, that's where you're going to start to feel that pressure, okay? October 24th, full moon. It's going to be the Scorpio sun by this time and the Taurus moon. The axis is going to be lit up quite a lot, okay? October 26th, we've got the Scorpio stellium. It's amplifying even stronger. So without analyzing any of this, for the channel, I just wanted to give you these dates. These are the key dates. You can see these again when you do the action replays if you need to. Okay, so in terms of an astrodoodle, this is what it looks like for everybody. Okay, that's where the Scorpio stellium is, in up here, and that's where all the Leo North Node pressure is. Okay, Pisces, this would be you over here. So for you, this would look more like this. Okay, let's leave it at that for now. Last thing before we get into the reading. If you guys are interested in the Tarot Lumination membership program, check the links, check the buttons, okay? If you're interested in personal readings, check the links, check the buttons. If you're interested in first time ever, first Friday healing events, check the links, check the buttons. If you're interested in the shop, the Tarot Lumination apparel and goodies, check the links, buttons. If you're interested in the books, if you're interested in the satin silk scarf, check the links, check the buttons. You can do a lot of this just by going to tarotlumination.com, okay? That's another way to do it. You can check the buttons up here, the end screens, in the description box, okay? So here we're going to go into the reading itself. I'm going to use this Journey of the Heart spread, okay? It's on the understand that we're always in a state of motion. It's a dynamic type of reading. We're coming in and we flow through the month and we set ourselves up every day, every decision as we go along for the next thing that happens. Okay, cards are shuffled. Bless these cards. Bless this little deck. Bless you, dear Pisces viewers, all viewers. Bless Tarot Lumination. Bless the whole channel and all the technology. Over here is your core heart soul energy. The heart needs what it needs, wants what it wants. It's up to you, dear Pisces, to listen and understand and tune into that energy. The closer you are to your heart, and we have all these other faculties, you know, our chakras and seventh, you know, first and seventh, and all the ones in between. But if the heart is not in alignment with the self, then we're opening ourselves to a lot of potential pain, and it doesn't have to be that way. We can understand our challenges from a different perspective. What are we bringing in with us? Think of this as history or legacy. Are you still dealing with the aftershocks of the eclipses? Are you tuning into some of the really juicy energies that we had in September for the big fat earth trines and water trines and things like that? Are you getting freaked out by things? Whatever it is. Over here, the energy of the ever-present now. This is where you own your power. here and now through the month on a daily basis. Forget the past, forget about the future. It's hard to do. We are compulsively driven to avoid the now, but that is where we have our power. We execute our power through the healing power of our decisions here. Okay, so what would that energy look like? If you think of this as a pulse and a beat, every single pulse of your heart has energy infused in it that's impacted by your thinking, your thoughts, your words, your senses, your sense of fear, your sense of joy. All of it impacts how the heart works or doesn't. How are we going to make decisions effectively in ways that actually work for you, Pisces, so that you can constantly be making decisions to love thyself? Okay, especially first and foremost, if you're a very classic Pisces, and you can tend to be very sacrificial, very idealistic, very much a martyr at times, or even a victim at times. It's very easy to fall into like an abyss sort of energy. I mean, especially because Neptune is in Pisces right over here. It's been there for a long time, 7 years, and we have another 7 years to go. And it's been living in a hard kind of opposition from Virgo now. So you might have been like kind of squeezed through September, but coming out of it now more gently. What happens here going forward? You're creating consequences through the healing power of your decisions. What happens if you mess up and you're not in tune, or you're in denial of your own energy, or you refuse to be present, you refuse to take responsibility for the outcomes of your life? What does that look like? On the other hand, what happens when you're in tune and you're really zoning into your power, into your love of self? It's the same energy. One is the inverse of the other. Over here would be the prospects for the next beat of the heart. So I'm hoping you see this as a heart shape. I'm doing my best here for that to look this way for you. And it starts from here, right over here. Even though it's an organ and it does everything automatically, it does get heavily influenced by your consciousness, your waking, deliberate consciousness, as opposed to your automatic limbic system. Over here, circumstantial energy. Think of it as the weather. So you have the emperor. Okay, my feeling here is it's like, it's almost as though you're being called out, Pisces. My feeling is that circumstances around you are almost like daring you to rise up to your power unapologetically, and let's say rise up in such a way that it might almost shock people. Like, who do you think you are? Who on earth do you think you are, being that kind of Pisces? You're supposed to be meek and humble and suck up all the rest of our problems in the rest of this world. Who do you think you are, loving yourself first, Pisces? Okay? And then you say to yourself, you know what? I have the right to do that just as much as you guys. Thank you very much. I'm not going to apologize. And you're being encouraged to be that way. Okay? What is the heart saying at the core here? Ace of Cups, you see? It's because you have a right and a duty and obligation. The heart is sensing this and knows this now. This is an Ace of Cups. Your heart, somewhere around you in your life, in your world, your heart knows that you deserve to love and be loved in the most, let's say, pure manner possible. And that is by invocation. And the thing is about this ace is that it's a kind of an energy of sacred opportunity. It's there. The heart deeply needs this, wants this, deserves this. The heart needs, like, if you've been very calcified, Pisces, if you've been very, let's say, victimized, or if you were hurt, or if you've been living in a fog, or if you have been called out and you've had a lot of the Virgo sun shining on you, calling you out, like, what's your problem? What are you going to do about it? How are you going to clean up your CRAP and do something practical and start healing yourself in Virgoic type ways? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Now that's not October, but you're dealing with it coming into October, and your heart says, now is the time, Pisces. Now is the time. Let's go for it. We got to take full advantage of it. It might be something to do with the very, very harmonious, big chunk of Scorpio energy coming up in October, which is very harmonious for you. Okay, what are you bringing in with you? Okay, the Four of Wands. So my feeling here is that, I don't know if you've been hanging around a lot with Tarot Lumination or on the Sunday Night Live shows or anything like that, but if you feel that You are benefiting and enjoying from a group setting where you feel as though you have learned something from being in group and celebrated that, and others have celebrated you like, wow, that's pretty cool, Pisces. Thank you for hanging out with us. We love you. And you can say, well, wow, thank you for hanging out with me. I love you guys too. We need to celebrate this. And maybe that's what you're bringing in. Maybe that heavy Virgo Pisces opposition polarity that's been going on has really, really, really shaken you up, woken you up, and made you realize, my gosh, I really do deserve the love that's out there. And that's my heart says so, and Tarot Illumination says so, and the circumstances say so. So let's maybe do that, okay? I'm very pleased to see this here for you, Pisces. What about now? The Queen of Cups. So with the Queen of Cups here, my feeling is that for you, it's like, it's almost like embarrassing. The thing is about the Pisces love energy right now. This is not a love and relationship reading, but Neptune is in Pisces, and it is a planet of universal love, the purest, most high frequency type of love, which of course is the type of love that's most easily compromised and contaminated, because it's very, very hard to operate at those frequencies. And if you, Pisces, are being woken up, like this is my chance now to operate at these frequencies at the spiritual level, then you might be like looking yourself in the mirror and thinking, oh my gosh, do I really have all this? Am I really all that? Forget the gender, male, female, no matter what. Or do I really have the capacity to love and be loved at these limits, at these high volumes, at these high frequencies? And if so, what am I going to do with all of that? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yes, I guess I do qualify, but I've never seen it so bluntly presented in my face. Oh dear, what am I supposed to do? Again, no apologies. So how are we going to, what's sort of like the energy of decisions here? So with the Five of Cups, my feeling is this is very much to do with whatever was pointed out at you during September. If you were exposed through the process of reflection through the Virgo Pisces axis, where you discovered an awful lot about how you self-sabotage, whatever it is that you've been that's causing self-undoing, even though it looks like you could blame someone else, it still is energy that you have to own. So what are you going to do about that? So when you're making your decision to love yourself, here, love thyself, and to nurture and care for thyself, which is what's best for the whole planet, not just you. You're doing the whole world a favor when you love thyself. Come from the position of awareness that it's okay to grieve. It's okay to lose. It's okay to be aware and suffer. It's okay to cry and grieve about everything that you did wrong, everything where you screwed up, everything where you have betrayed others, everything where others have betrayed you in your own life's evolution, where you've been undermined, self-sabotaged, and maybe unwittingly done that to others as well. So, and that's very tragic. Okay, so all I'm suggesting here is come from an awareness about the great tragedies that happen and that we carry, and that these need to be revealed for healing. You can't evolve. You can't just pour so-called healthy new habits on top of a massive festering dumpster. Okay, it doesn't work. Over here, how are we going to do this effectively so you don't become overwhelmed by the tragedy of the discovery of everything and anything that is that you own, that is toxic? Okay, how do you do that? It's basically like declare an end. It's like an ultimate declaration. My feeling here with the World card is that it is time to use absolute power. No pardon me's, no kind of like compromises, no like, well, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. No, it's right now, make the decision to love thyself first and foremost. Accept and understand the tragedy of life, the tragedies of the world, how we undermine ourselves, betray ourselves, destroy ourselves. And yes, it is very, very tragic, but life goes on. You're still going to be moving forward here into a new life, new world going forward, but it does require making conscious, deliberate decisions to love thyself first, tap into your deepest, most powerful love energies, no apologies, allow it to flow, ask for the healing power of love to fill your life from up above, and then do that and say goodbye to the old ways. It's okay. It's okay to say goodbye to all your pain and sorrow and sufferings. You know, it's so easy to be owned by all that stuff because sometimes our wounds are so deep, it's almost like we don't know anything else in life. Okay, and we create consequences if we act this way. This is love in action. This is your spirit love energy in action, moving through the month. Okay, Ten of Swords. What happens is it's almost like you create the ending itself. It's almost like you are deliberately creating a, like it's like the end of pain here by deliberate choice, by exposing all the pain and suffering, understanding here, like with the Ten of Swords, it's just like it can't get any worse. So all it can do is get better. But you have to be aware of how the energy works, of how love works. When you invite it in and you own it and it fills your being to capacity so that there's nothing else, you almost don't exist anymore as a human being or an ego. You are simply an instrument of the healing power of love. And you basically say goodbye to all pain. Yes, you're going to continue to experience pain, tragedy, and suffering and so on, but it doesn't have to own you, and you don't have to become a victim. So what happens if we screw up and you decide you just want to wallow in your misery? Okay, you get misery compounded by more misery. Sorry, with the Three of Wands, excuse me, what happens is you would get more like it's sort of like the energy of what do you expect? Okay, so if you choose to ignore the messages that have been coming out here and you decide to just wander around in a state of victimhood and like almost like if you're a heavy self-medicator, for example, and you're blocking out the chance for this amount of love to flow, and you're dissolving your own let's say omnipotence and your right to be you, and you're just living life in a kind of festering haze, then that's what you're going to get as a consequence, even more and more and more of that. And this pain will continue and grow. And it's just like somebody filling up their dumpster and insisting on filling up their dumpster and more without ever clearing it out. It just gets worse and festering worse, and it infects the rest of your life. So instead, if you do this, if you understand and accept your pain and suffering as part of a journey in life, and that it has purpose and meaning, and you've learned so much from that, and you still have the right to enjoy and start from scratch. This is very, very much heavily to do with new beginnings. I think this is very much to do with the Virgo new moon that happened a while ago. Then you go forward, you create positive consequences, okay? Like good karma here, which sets you up. Okay, let's keep flowing. Okay, well, with the Hanged Man, you might not be used to this feeling. You might not be used to what it's like to be released from, at least spiritually released from your habits of self-sabotage. Once you've discovered how incredibly easy it is to self-sabotage, and then you realize, like, my gosh, it doesn't have to be that way. I actually have a right to be happy. It can really confuse you, and you could easily be tempted to slip back into the old ways. It's just like, I actually kind of enjoyed being an alcoholic. I would much rather be a whining, moaning, like miserable, suffering person than actually try to figure this out. And then you realize, no, that's not acceptable. I actually do have to grow and evolve and move on. The clock keeps ticking. I'm not going to waste this life. This is a golden opportunity. This is a chance to say goodbye to the old and hello to the new. But it takes conscious, deliberate decisions to do that. It means being willing to reveal it in order for the healing, and then accepting the consequences. And over here, it looks like you can generate good consequence. It just might freak you out because you might not be used to being happy or loving or being loved at these kind of frequencies. It can be very disorienting. Like you're just walking along one day and you're in the middle of Arizona and then you end up on the edge of the Grand Canyon. You go, whoa, wait a minute. Why didn't anybody tell me? It's extremely disorienting, okay? But I think it's possible that you can handle that because you're still a conscious being and you can just say, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I actually have the chance to love and be loved at this level, but it means going through all of this. Whew, so that's a lot of that's kind of a lot of pressure, but I think that Scorpio stuff and the Capricorn stuff is really, really supportive for you. Okay. So let's leave it at that. Thank you so much, Pisces. I hope you get something out of this. And thank you for choosing Tarot Illumination. Bye-bye.